Hey everybody, Andrew here. The KAYFUN, it's sort of taken on legendary status at this stage. It's just such a good atomizer, and you know, when it's like that, I polished that one up myself, and it's sitting on a mod like that, which is the Lernia Hydra, or Lernia Hydra, I think. I can't quite pronounce it properly. And this, by the way, I'm going to be reviewing in the next day or two. It is just fantastic, and it vapes like a dream. Every single time. It's just terrific. Now, I've done a number of coils in the past. I have videos, there's a playlist of videos on my channel for different coils for the KAYFUN. And all of them work very well. And the one that's in there at the moment is an M3. It's the one that I keep going back to because it's just so bloody easy to do. And you just use a little screw like that. Or you can get an M2 screw, which is even smaller. It's a 2mm screw. But it's just a really, really easy way to make a microcoil. And so I have, within this one at the moment, this microcoil with cotton in it works an absolute dream. But earlier on I got a spheroid and I was having some issues with it, and for me it just wasn't wicking fast enough down to the coil, and that's a pure silica build. So I started playing around, and I did a coil a while back ago called the Steam Sandwich, which is again on my channel somewhere. And essentially what that is you're using two pieces of 2mm wick, and then using those two pieces to grab through a third piece into it, into a microcoil. Because, you know, to get enough sort of packing, if you like, within a microcoil, if you're using something other than cotton, can be a little bit difficult sometimes. So what I did on the spheroid one is I decided to go with the two lots of 2 mils going through, and then actually bring some cotton through with it. So that would mean then that any of the wicking that was happening down to the coil, in the coil there was silica and there was cotton. So that would mean, because of the super absorption of the cotton, that it would always be nice and moist inside the coil. So I then, after doing that, and it worked extremely well, I decided, well look, I'll do one for the KAYFUN and see how that works. So that's what we're going to do. I'll show you how to do it, and we'll have a little bit of a chat afterwards. Okay, I have some 0.32 Kanthal here and an M3 screw, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to do 7 wraps on the screw with this particular Kanthal. So we usually end up losing one of the first turns, so just get it going right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so there we go, if we can get it in focus. Don't seem to want to focus. And then we can just undo that first one there. And as ever with the KAYFUN, basically what you need is the legs going out in opposite direction. So I'm just going to pull that back around there like that. And that should be fine for what we need there. The camera is not behaving itself today at all. Anyway, that's it. Let's put that onto the deck. And as usual, all we do is basically lay it down like that, turn it at a slight angle, and then turn the leads in like that to basically put it into place. And then we can take our screwdriver and just tighten it up. I really do find it is one of the easiest methods for getting a coil onto, not just a KAYFUN, but onto anything. So that should be about right, and that's what it looks like now, nicely screwed down. So what we can do is just position the coil using the screw here. I'm going to get rid of these extra bits. I can find my nail scissors. There's one gone. And there is the other one gone. So we need to look down on it from the top, make sure everything is positioned correctly, which it is, and then we can go and put it onto a mod and heat it up and just compress the coil. just stuck it onto a mod. So what we'll do is just hold it down, heat it up like that till it's nice and hot, and then basically get a tweezers, or in this case just a little needle nose, just to gently pull them together until it cools down. And then we just go again, because we can get a little bit closer than that. Again, burning nicely, or rather glowing nicely from the inside out till it's nice and warm or hot. And then again just hold it till it cools down. And that's what we're left with there. As you can see, that is glowing nicely. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to raise it a little bit. It just seems to be a tiny bit close to the air hole underneath. And remember, if it actually touches the air hole, you're going to get a short. So we do need to just lift it up a little bit there. Unscrew our screw. Actually we're running a little bit low on battery here. Either that or I have the Provari set a little bit low. Just pull that in gently. I'll give it one last time. And that's good enough for me. So now to put the wick and the cotton into it. So what I have now is the silica bent in half, and then what I've done is I've just put a little wire lead on the front of it from some of the discarded wire earlier on, just looped it through, and so that allows me to then just thread it easily through the coil. So let's just pull that through like that. And then what you want to do is, as you're going through with this, you just essentially want to pinch the end and then hold the coil back ever so slightly as you're actually running it through. And once you've got it through at the beginning, it's easy to pull through the rest of the way. But what we're going to do a little bit, which is a little bit different with this one, is we're actually going to get some cotton in there as well, because I feel it does a great job of helping the whole wicking thing. So I'm just going to prepare a little piece of cotton here. Now we don't need much, because we don't, it's just really for living just underneath the coil. That's where it's going to be. So we just get that little piece of cotton, just tease it out a little bit. Something like that, and then when we've got that, essentially what we want to do is capture this between the two legs here. So what we need to do is just hold it like that. It's usually easiest to do it side on like that, and then as you pull it through, what's going to happen is that the friction and the pressure of the silica is going to basically drag the cotton through. Now you'll need to get your nail onto the wick, onto the coil, and then just help it through. And what we will end up with is something like that. So essentially what we have is we've got the silica underneath and we've got the cotton on top. Now what I want to do is just pull this back ever so slightly so that I have enough of a tail on each end to complete the nest coil, which I'm going to do. Right, ready for the next phase. This is all looking a little bit scruffy at the moment, so what we need to do is get rid of some of this stuff that's going on here. So the first thing I want to do is get rid of, it might be easier to use a scissors in this case, So get rid of some of this excess cotton from there, and then also from there, because we only need a relatively small piece in the middle. In fact, I'll go even a little bit tighter on that one, to something like that. Then what we want to do is cut. You see this one here, this bottom one here is attached to that. So I want to leave the bottom one as it is, and with the top one, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go fairly close in, about the same level as to where the cotton is, and cut that off there, and then do the same thing on this side and cut that off about there. Okay. Now, this is a little bit too long, so I can cut that off there. So this is what we're left with. Okay, that little silica, cotton silica sandwich in the middle there. And then we have our two leads, and that piece there is connected. That is a single piece there at the bottom. So now what we can do is actually build our nest. And essentially what we're doing is we're bringing this down to the deck and bringing it back up again. Okay, so that's going to go down and touch like that there, and on this side it's going to do the same thing. It's going to go down, touch there, and head back up again. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll just fold those in now. So that one goes in there like that, this one like this, and then once I can hold that, what we can do is just pop the top on. Oops, I lost one side there. So again, skywards, skywards. I've actually left these two a little bit shorter. It would have been easier if I'd left them a little bit longer, but I'm sure that's working fine nonetheless. So we screw that on, and now you can see the inside of what's going on there. So on the inside, all I want to do is wrap that one down to the side, and then this one here, I want to wrap that one into the side as well. So that you end up with something like that. Again, I could have left those tails a little bit longer so that they could have gone around further, but with that extra cotton in the middle, it doesn't really need it. There's going to be plenty of wicking in that. So this is all wetted down, and what we'll do is just check the ohms on it and see what it's coming out at. And it is coming out at 1.3, which is fine by me. As you can see from that, it is it's going nice and well. So let's put the rest of it together and have a vape. Right, just putting the chimney back on this, and you'll probably notice that it's got a very, very tiny chimney on it, and that's because this is a KAYFUN Nano, which essentially what it does is it uses the main bits of a KAYFUN, but it gives you, the Nano kit gives you two smaller rings and a smaller chimney. So what that means then is when you actually put it together, if it'll go together, it is really nice and dinky and small. So let's fill it up. Okay, the moment of truth. So the cotton silica hybrid nest coil. Sitting in a KAYFUN Nano on a Lernia Hydra, or Lernia Hydra, I'm not sure how to say it at all. Now, I haven't taken a pull on this. Normally what the best thing to do is as most people with the KAYFUN will know, if you want to prime it, hold your finger over the button, sorry, over the little hole, and just take a gentle drag just to sort of prime it. So here we go. Needs a little bit more in the chamber. Round 2. Now it's getting to go. The interesting thing with this is, because you're laying cotton on the top, you're actually getting the cotton taste. But you're getting, you know, the silica has a lot of good properties as well. Now, it's not the full cotton taste, but it's a mixture of the two of them, really. But what I find with this combination of the cotton and the silica is that if you're really caning it and the silica is having any problems keeping up, which generally it doesn't if you actually coil something properly, but if it does, then certainly the cotton helps, because it's so absorbent. It'll always just keep everything nice and wet underneath the coil. Plus it also adds something to the taste, because for me, after being on cotton for quite a long time, I put together a couple of silica bills, and I'd sort of gone off the taste of silica a little bit, even though I used to prefer it to cotton. But I think it's a very, very happy medium. I must say I'm absolutely delighted with it. I mean, it's full of flavour right off the bat. So let's try a little long inhale on this and see what happens. Yeah, it's working like a charm. Not really used to doing those. So that's basically it. 2 pieces of 2mm silica with cotton pulled through with those, turned so the cotton is sitting on the top, inside an M3 microcoil in a KAYFUN. I think it's a winner. I think it just adds that little bit extra to either a cotton coil or to a silica coil by bringing the two of them together. So anyhow, there you go. I like it. It's worth giving it a try, I reckon, and if you do, I hope you like it too. Listen, thanks very much. I'll catch you again soon. Cheers.